What is up, everyone? How's it going? Black Boy here, and today I want to talk about my new HX Stomp that I got and opened and unboxed in my last video. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive into this HX Stomp. Alright, so like I said, I got this limited edition purple HX Stomp, let's see, probably about a month and a half ago now, and I've been fiddling around with this, and it's really, really neat, really awesome. So, I just want to go over this and not really do a deep dive review on this, or even like a should you buy or should you not, but just tell you what I think about it and what I've done with it. So, as I stated before, I'm getting ready to start a new project, and I decided I didn't really want to bring all of my equipment to shows and practices. And for the longest time now, I wanted to get into the modeler game. I kind of had my feet or toes dipped into the water with my new main head, which is a mark-based multi-amp. That is a modeler of all the mark-based heads at the time, or amplifiers at the time. But I decided I wanted to go a little bit more and actually dive in. So I got myself, like I said, this limited edition purple HX Stomp. Now the reason why I went with this, there are a couple. One is I am primarily a bass player. And, I did my research. There was the Quad Cortex, the Kemper and all that stuff. And they all have good amps and cabs and things for bass. But from what I read on the community and on the boards and everything like that, is that Line 6 has a better, what's the word I want to look for? A better support system for bass players. Like, they're always sitting there updating their stuff for bass players. For guitarists, it's not really a problem because most of this stuff is made for guitarists. So, they have a lot of things at their disposal right off the bat. Here, though, is a totally different thing because, like I said, bass players really don't get that much hurrah for it. So that was one thing. Second is I kind of wanted to go on the cheaper end and on a smaller form factor. And the HX Stomp is just that. Smaller form factor, smaller footprint than the regular Helix or the Stomp LT, but it has all of the same programs, or not programs, but amps and effects and everything as the bigger one, just not as much processing power as the bigger one. So where this, it only gives you 8 blocks for what you can do, the bigger one gives you unlimited amount. So there's that. It's cheaper. It's also got a MIDI in, so I can use this as either like a foot switch, or I can have a controller and headphone in and out. But a lot of this stuff has headphones in and out. Next, another reason why I went with that is because of the actual software, HX Edit. Doing my research and just looking at all of the other editing programs and software, HX Edit seemed like the most simplest and user-friendly to jump into. And you know what? It really is user-friendly. That being said, in association with that, doing the exact same thing on HX Edit, but on here. Now the screen isn't all that big, but it's just as easy and user-friendly as the actual software. And this is just coming from me as a personal experience. Be forewarned, everyone will have their own personal experience with it, but for me, it just works well on here or on the actual computer using the HX Edit software. I got footage of that and of me using it, and what I did just for fun is I made, was it 3? I think I made 3 presets, maybe 4 so far. But what I did is I made a nice clean version. I made my bass tone from one of my old bands and came back brutal. And then I just made a really annoying split and grit dirty bass volume, dirty bass tone. And I love it. Not so sure how well it's going to work in a mix, but you know, just like a nice gritty bass tone. I love it. I will show you guys all that later. But all right, guys. So as you can see, we are here in the HX Stomp, or the HX Edit software, and as you can see, I got all of these. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 blocks, 7 out of the 8 blocks here, and you can also see it's showing up here on the screen on the HX Stomp. Now this is preset number 35C. I'm still working on this one, so we won't pay attention to this. But right here, we'll start off with 34C. It's my clean bass. And as you can see, there's not a lot going on here. Let's just check out the first block. The first block, which is really just a noise gate, just on the off chance. The second thing I have going is a compressor, so noise gate into a compressor. Then after that, I have a reverb, a dynamic ambience, which just adds a little bit of, just a little bit, not a whole lot, just want enough just so that adds it just a little bit of flavor. And then at the end we have an IR, which is this is one of the IR packets that I got from Spectre Sound Studio. Great channel, all about home recording and things like that. They made an IR out of a cab made out of stone. So this is their stone cab IR, and this has been recorded with an SM57 microphone. So if I'm just using this as my whole entire rig, you know, straight into the PA system, or if I'm using headphones, I will have my IR turned on. If I'm running into a cab, I don't need the IR turned on. And one of the cool things about this is I can leave it here, and then just to turn it off, just the power button right there, boom, and it's off, and it bypasses it completely. So that is cool. And it's the same thing like here on the HX Stomp itself. Let me show you. Go into view, go into the edit mode, push the button, and it's off. Push the button again, and it's on. And as you can see, as I push the button here, it also turns it off in HX Edit. So that is really, really awesome. Now, so that's just my clean bass tone. So next is ACBB. This is the tone that I used for in my old band and came back brutal. And one of the greatest things I like about this is that they don't have my exact amp, but they have an pretty much close enough to the amp that I have, that I was playing with in And Came Back Brutal. And so let's just real quickly, first thing up is a noise gate. I always like having a noise gate out the gate. You know, first off in my chain noise gate. Boom. Second is the amp. Pretty much this is just a 3-patch preset, but it's the amp, which is this G Kruger 800. The amp I have or that I still have and that I was using for And Came Back Brutal was a Gallion Kruger Blackline 600. So it's pretty much the exact same amp. And then for a cab, I am just using an Ampeg SVT 810 cab. Once again, this is just for when I'm practicing using headphones, or if I'm running straight into a PA system. If not, if I'm using my cab, then I turn this off. And this is being mic'd up with a 57. So yeah. But one of the coolest things about this, right, is, let me pull it up. But for my And Came Back Brutal Tone, or ACBB, I actually have a picture right here. This picture, as you can see, black line 600, boom. But if I zoom in, I was able. This was a picture I took of my settings one night at one of our shows. So I had my settings right there, and I just literally looked at this and transposed them straight onto here. Now, I know this picture is a little hard to make out, like what everything is up here, but I still have my amp with me. Hold on. See, right here, my Gallien-Kruger Blackline 600 amp. So it was very simple. All I had to do was, using the picture, figure out, okay, let's just go from left all the way to right and just plug in the numbers. Now, the only difficult thing that I had to do is on here on the HX edit, as you can see, there's a sliding. Each one of these has a slider, but also over here, there is a number. And this number, this one is at 3, goes all the way from 0 all the way up to 10. So it's like, oh, okay. Well, how am I going to figure this out? You know, bring up the picture again. You know, this really doesn't have numbers on it. It's just, okay, this is at noon. This is at like 10. These are at 9. How does that transpose into this number setting right here of 0 to 10? And what I realize here is, on my black line, on the face of my amp itself, there are little notches. As you can see, there are little notches right here. They go there. There's a line, but each line has a notch that wraps around the face of the knob. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. And there are 10 notches. So to me, I was like, all right, I'm going to take a shot in the dark here and say each one of these notches represents each one of the numbers out here. And you know what? Yeah, it worked. And it was amazing. So then what I did is, after I plugged it all in, I grabbed a bass and I tuned to the exact same tuning that I was using in And Came Back Brutal, which was drop B tuning. So was it BEBF or BFBE, something like that, one of those two. Anyways, and it sounded just like it on the HX Stomp in my headphones and whatnot. But the real question is, did it really sound like the Blackline? So what I decided to do is, hey, I'll just record them both. So now you guys are able to hear both the actual Blackline and the HX Stomp to see if it sounds exactly alike, or how close does it sound. So here's that sound test for you guys. Well, what did you guys think? Do you think it sounds close? Do you think I was super far away? What do you guys think? Anyways, that's how I came up with the ACBB tone. Now, right here, splitty. This, like I said, is my split and grit tone, right? And this is like the only one that doesn't have a noise gate on it. But as you can see, I came here, and the first thing I do is I split it. So we come here to the split, and we have 4 different types of split. We have a split Y, a split AB, split crossover, and split dynamic. Now, split Y gives you the exact same signal in 2 directions. Split AB, you either get A or B. Split crossover, which is what I went with, this gives you both of them, but you set the frequency at where the signal splits at. And then dynamic split, I can't remember what that does again, or how that splits the signal, but I went with split crossover. And as you can see, my crossover frequency is 500 megahertz. So just on the very middle of the mids, pretty much. So on the high end, I have this distortion, this claw tone driver, a lot of, gain is at 4, tone is at 6, 3.5. And this is this just is amazing. This gives me that real nice and dirty grit, grind stuff, things like that. And then after this, we have the cab, which is, once again, this is an Ampeg 410. However, now thinking about this, I want my cab after the split, so that way both of things are going into. Anyways, so yeah, that's that. And then down here on the lows, I have a nice a nice compressor, and that's it. Just compressing a little bit on the high end, so it doesn't really go, and just gives the lows of the bass a nice warm feeling, whereas the top's got that nice gritty, grimy, twanginess. So yeah, so like I said, I made 3 presets: clean, ACBB, and splitty. You guys already heard ACBB, but real quickly, let me show you all 3 bass tones and what they sound like right here. All right, guys. Well, what did you think about my 3 tones, my 3 presets that I made? Did you like them? Did you not? I just want to know. Well, at the end of the day, what do I think about my HX Stomp? Am I happy with the purchase? Am I not? as of right now, I am happy with my HX Stomp. As of right now, I mean, like I said, I've been pretty much just using this and working in, like, figuring out the kinks, trying to get to know it better, trying to figure out how to use HX Edit to the best of my abilities. And I do like it so far. You know, it's really great. There are a few downfalls with the HX Stomp, like there only being 3 foot switch buttons. But you know, I had just a foot switch just lying around, and I had a TRS cable, so plugged that in and was able to get 2 extra foot switch buttons to use for this. And just, you know, now since I've used this in a practice setting and just trying to figure out the system, I am ready to take this to the next step and use this in a band practice setting and a show setting to actually get a better feeling for this. Now, like I said, I know there are a bunch of videos out, and these things, like the HX Stomp itself, is old, and I am really late to the party. But as an initial first full-fledged dive into modeling and using the HX software, I have to say I really like it. But what do you guys think? Do you have an HX Stomp? Do you have a Helix series or Helix family product, or do you have something else, like I said, a Kemper, a Tone Master, a Quad Cortex? Or are you still using the tried and true bass amp or just regular guitar amp? Let me know. Say it down in the comments. If you have any questions about this too, or if you guys want me to try anything out, or if you for some reason want one of my presets, let me know. Well guys, that's all the time we have for today. I hope this video wasn't too long, and I hope it made, you know, sense to you guys. But until next time, remember, I'm Black Boy in a Band, and keep practicing. Well guys, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you guys liked this video. If you guys have any comments or suggestions, jot them down in the comment section below. I'll throw up some more videos that I think you guys might like. One that's my last video, and just another video. Also, feel free to subscribe. I do put out new content every other Tuesday, or at least I try to in these crazy times. Also, go ahead and like this video. That helps me out. And, you know, go ahead, share this video if you think it might help someone else out. Once again, guys, thanks for all you do. I'm Black Boy in a Band, and just remember, keep practicing.